$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger Covenant, Breaker 7 Seals. It's amazing, brothers and sisters. No one's ever take me up on this, ever. It'd be easy. Never take me up on it. Anyway, we're going to give up somewhat of a critique we have today. I mean, it's like, I used to tell my children, I says, if you go out and see something very disgusting, then why would you come back and tell people about it? Now you're a minister of disgusting. You sort of say, man, you're disgusting. So then you're going to pass on that. See, because you got it, stop it right there. You take my own advice. Because every Sunday, there's a shitstorm over there. A little shitstorm. It's disgusting. Critiquing it, I'm like a minister of it, repeating it. But that's part of my mission. I got to deal with a shitstorm. I don't like it. Because people make a shit over here. If people make a shit, you got to get, like, I'm here to dive in, get you out. I'm here to come over here. That he wanted to come over here, shitstorm over here. He didn't stay long, but he came over here. You think it was great when he came over here? He said, that's what happened. He said, the messenger covenant, you have to dive in by itself. This lake of shit. Again, I said, my own advice, I said, oh man, on a mission, so I didn't ask for it, don't like it, but it is what it is. More on brothers and sisters. So I'm going to give a somewhat of a critique. Try to finish up my last part of that series I was telling you about. Let's go.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
You brothers and sisters, they're so guilty over there. That's why, those people with them, they're ignorant, they're stupid, or they're just plain demons. Because they do it all the time. They do it today. I mean, they talk about, they keep pointing to scriptures. One of all the scriptures, one of the other scriptures. What's wrong? The three main scriptures that speaks to Elijah, mission. Three main scriptures: Malachi, Genesis, Exodus. The three main scriptures, they believe part of it and disbelieve the others. Obvious. What about Malachi? Oh, that's the last one. Last messenger. When it clearly says, right, he paid away for the message of the covenant. The covenant. The message comes when fulfilled, and his job is fulfilled when he gets home. Right there. What about that one? Malachi. It's right there. Elijah the messenger, right? And he prepared a way for the message of the covenant. We should be seeking. Message of the covenant. Right there. Okay, they believe in part of the book, but But they cut him off. They cut off the messenger of the covenant because they say there's nobody after Elijah. But then you got Farrakhan with nobody after. They cut off right there. Okay, let's go into Genesis. Your seed will be a stranger land not theirs. Will serve be afflicted 40 years. Now we judge that nation, not us. The nation that did to us, but Pharaoh says we're gonna be judged. It's gonna be so sinful. And then it goes right down to the following verse. Right? And they shall go out with great substance. Where? It tells you that's a covenant. So it says it's a covenant. When God says making a covenant, that's means it's foregone conclusion. There's no changes. It's already decided. That you will return after the fourth generation, this generation right here, remember, called with great substance, go out to Arabia, between River Euphrates and River Egypt. It's clear enough. Right? They don't mention that part. They mention the first part. They're right there. They don't mention why. Those believe in part of the book and believe in the other. And both of those two are tied together. Because the message of the covenant we just talked about, but that's the covenant. Those two are tied together. Right? The message of the covenant, and there's the covenant. But they say, we ain't going anywhere. They say Elijah's the last one. So they cut it off on both sides. They cut off the fact that we went through Holocaust. They cut off the reward. No, we ain't getting no reward. You ain't going nowhere. And the one that's supposed to get us the reward, they cut him out. His last one. Let's look at Exodus. Okay. You get the God, Elijah, spokesman, Aaron, and then Joshua, who fulfills the covenant. All three of them are connected. And they never mentioned anything, never mentioned Joshua, not one time ever. So there's a concerted effort there, brother. Says, why are they not mentioned? Those three, they are three connected. And they don't mention, and never mention the covenant, never mention going back to Arabia, never mention Joshua, never, ever. Why? The devil don't want you to know that. No matter what the reason why is, it says right there. Let's see what it says again. Make sure you understand. Doesn't matter the reason why. They give to this anyway.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
See what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? They're guilty of that right there. That's from Allah. That's the Quran. And not just a chastisement, the most grievous chastisement. And it's obviously doing it. I just showed you. Go and look. They'll tell you Elijah, right there, Malachi, they point to Malachi. But they believe the first part, they don't believe the latter part. They point to Exodus, yeah, that's us, we 400 years enslaved and everything else. But go home, Joshua, never mention them. Yeah, we Abraham's seed, we for 100 years here in strange land. But no going home. Right there. No mention ever. All three are connected. The blessing of the covenant, who is Joshua, who takes you home. Boom. So, where you going? Nowhere. Here comes the last one. Boom, boom. That shows right there. It's clear. So anybody, and they hears that, and they still with them, you know who they are. Because there's no doubt about that. I mean, how can you get around that one? That's so clear, that's so crystal clear. That's God talking. Allah talking. And they believe in part of the book of the Spirit. I just showed it. It's clear. You can just go and see. Say, ask them, why are you not mentioning this part? Why you skipping on this verse? Why are you skipping on this verse here in Exodus? Why skip over this verse in Genesis. Why skip over this verse in Malachi? You don't believe in those parts? Because if you do, you don't. Because you said last month, you said there ain't no Joshua, there ain't no message of the covenant. You say he's the last message, so you said there's no message of the covenant. You say Elijah's the last one, so there's no Joshua in Exodus. And you say we ain't going nowhere, so the covenant don't mean shit. You saying? So you call God a liar too? They're so guilty. I mean, you can stop right there. But that show you if they're still there. What does that tell you about them? Let's move on. Problem with this one, brothers, but here we go. Shit slide.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flagger as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
The lesson says they're all evil. Everyone 100% wicked. Like snakes. If you leave them alone, they'll bite someone else. And they cannot be reformed. Everyone's tried, no one's been successful. So decisions been made to remove them off the planet. But apparently they have a different idea. And the Benjamins, see, what's this? See, Farrakhan and Wallace. Wallace was officially out. They're trying to change the story now. I was there. Witness. When Elijah Muhammad departed, Wallace was officially permanently banned from the nation, couldn't even see his own family. We have him on tape admitting that. So Farrakhan should have been the man who stepped up because he was the national spokesman. Somehow, Wallace came and got to control. They knew exactly what he was going to do because he always did it. He hated his father. He put articles in the paper and everything about his father was good and all that kind of stuff. They knew exactly what he was about. So Wallace came in, and Wallace Farrakhan was his wingman, if you want to put it that way. He was his minister. And Wallace was minister. And they took and ripped off the nation. They took and liquid all the assets, everything. So it was billions of dollars of assets. I lived in the nation building. I was a foreman in publishing newspaper. We print our own paper, not like they do synagogue of Satan. That Princeton, Princeton Financial Corp. So I worked for the nation. I banked for the nation. My car was financed to the nation. So for some, I lost everything. Everything. My wife and I, we lost everything. Because they took liquid. So when they say the nation fell, it fell because there was no leadership, because they got rid of it. They got even rid of the name. They got rid, there was no NOI. It wasn't, they started something called the aliens. Right here. It was bad, and they said the messenger wasn't a messenger, and Bob was just a trickster. They destroyed the whole thing, every aspect of everything Elijah did, and he stole all the money. And didn't leave the believers anything, left us all with nothing. All the hard work that the believers did, supporting the messenger, they took all the money, all about the Benjamins, and didn't give the believers a dime, nothing. They destroyed everything the believers believed in. Everything. They believed the messenger, that was your fool. He's a fool. They call us all fools. Because which fool we're believing in? Farrakhan said the same thing. So anybody believe, he said this came out of his mouth. Anybody believe 100% we lied Muhammad taught is a fool. He calls fools. Them two. Then they went their own way. Farrakhan, he didn't stay to fight for the believers. He got their money, he took off. He was gone. He was trying to get back on the stage. Tell me I'm lying, Farrakhan. The man said, no, boy, no, Louis, we can't let you on stage. You're a bad boy. You're saying bad things about us. He was trying hard. I can't remember the person that he was some kind of so-called famous person, singer or actor. I think it was a singer. Yeah. That was trying to help him get back on stage, and he wasn't able to do it. And he ran out of money, and that's what he says. But he's a multimillionaire. He hasn't getting that money back. And this Bernard Cushman went looking for him and found him and convinced him to come back, because there wasn't any come back to Chicago and try to rebuild the Nation of Islam, because it was gone. And the reason why, he was a Wallace follower. Bernard Cushman had no problem with Wallace. Right? No religious problem. He had a problem with finance. Wallace did not let these guys make any money off of his Balalian organization. That was a Sunni-based organization, and if you wanted to be an imam, you had to still work your job. You come in on Friday and lead the prayers. You didn't get a dime for it. And they got tired of that after a while, and they said, okay, if we bring Farrakhan back, we can set up like we used to set up. Set up temples and charity comes, you get paid, and so forth, so on. That's what happened. Tell me I'm lying. So he came back like a buzzard to finish off the prey that he had helped slay. And that's what we've known the last 4 years. He hasn't built a goddamn thing, nothing. He's got to sit on the street doing fundraisers because he can't get the males to do anything. I don't know how many people sits on the street doing anything. That's Mr. Farrakhan. So I'm lying, Farrakhan. And you right now, you know that fool. I'm gonna talk about him. That fool. You know when you think that shit is a mile high and it's stinking to high heaven, you think, man, that's got to be worse. Then you find somebody coming here, he can make shit stink more than that. I'm telling you, I listen to that damn stupid dumbass Daniel Day. That he's certified idiot. You know what the hell he talk? Try to use a big word like symbiotic. You don't even know what it means. There's no symbiotic relationship between the heart and the brain. You don't know what a symbiotic relationship is. And the whole idea about the heart and the brain, the way it's formed, is totally wrong. The heart does not form, the brain does not form it. The brain is part of the formation. It's DNA that drives the whole affair, dumbass. DNA drives the whole affair. And the brain's one of the first things, right, that starts taking form. But all of them take form simultaneously. Yeah, you see the brain is larger in that sense, so you see it's more visible. But that's why I do those tests, so sonic, whatever, and you can then you see all the parts. It's so small, but all it starts together. DNA is all is right there. The DNA, so all the DNA is growing, but some goes faster than others, but all going at the same time. Full, go to brain and then the heart, and then they start. So let's put the rest of stuff together. Brain has nothing to do with that. Nothing. If it did, how come you're not conscious of that stuff right now? Man, that boy is so stupid. I try to say, it's who's more stupid? Who's more dumb, him or Jeffrey or Ishmael? But see, that's reflection of their teacher. Because if they're idiots, their teacher must be an idiot. And I tell people, don't come mess with this angel, because if you out here making a fool of yourself, then you must work for the devil. Because I don't give a damn what you do intentionally, unintentionally. You making this whole thing look bad as a reflection off on me, and I'm not going to have it. I work too damn hard and suffer too much to make sure this is exactly right. When you come over here with your bullshit, ain't happening. You end up with the same cat. Be careful, because you end up right next to them when they be eating that shit that they've been dishing out. What's going to happen? This is not a game. I keep telling people it's not a game. You don't know me. You really don't. I'm doing what I'm acting as I am to get this mission done. I'm 100%. That's what it requires. That's what I give. It doesn't require me to be myself. It requires me. Oh, they say, oh, son of man, you have to eat manure. Oh, that's being myself. That's what I want to know. You have to be what I need to do to get this mission done. Period. And those fixo folks over there are so off the page. I don't know if they try. It doesn't matter if they research it down. Because this what it is, they probably wouldn't make any sense of it. Like, remember last week, talking about Farrakhan's name, and he went AI, and AI, it then turns out, where did AI get the information from? From their website. They had to calculate a goddamn thing. So that was him again, wasn't it? Yeah, It might not be a photo finish. He may just be dumber than Jeffrey, and that's hard. Jeffrey is dumb. That boy is so idiot. But they're a reflection of their teacher. We don't. Ishmael, that boy he's certified. There must have been a new word for him. Must have been a new word. And that boy just contradicts himself all day. Oh, well, all of us, we are wicked. Big hearts. Be corrected. Oh. He did A and the L. Farrakhan's name, Louis Farrakhan. Wouldn't that include him if you say all? So we all fucked up. He's fucked up. And what the hell we listening for? See, that boy is stupid. I tell people, be careful with words. He said all. So Farrakhan is including all. Then he just fucked up as everybody else then. So what the hell we listening to him for? Oh, but then he backs up, and he don't back off because he don't realize what he said. So later on, we need somebody to straighten us out. Like, Farrakhan. Well, he's not part of all. And right now he can't wipe his own ass. The boy is stupid. Sitting down in a relationship. God, jealousy is bad. Oh, did you read the verse in the Bible where God says, I'm a jealous God? So, something wrong with him because he's jealous? So I'm a jealous God. Ain't that what he said? It's so goddamn stupid. I hate to even talk. Like I said, it's like seeing a whole bunch of shit and then they'll tell everybody about it. Like you're the minister of shit. Now you got them feeling all sickening because you spend the sex you saw. That's what's there. I mean, I can sit down here and critique this dumb. He said, boy, it's just plain stupid. Everything he says is totally stupid. And you going on and on. You know what they're getting at? See, you know what it is. See how he talk over there? See how he curse and stuff? So he got a wicked heart. So he can't be a pure heart. That's where he's going. They just can't say it directly. He can't have a pure heart. You can have a pure heart. But you got to love your brother. Well, I guess Master Muhammad don't have to love his brother either because he said he's going to kill them all. The Messiah, if he's going to kill them all too, all his enemies. So they pick, well, see what the fool does, and you can't really call it a strategy because he don't know what strategy is. Chess and stuff. That fool. What they do is they come up with some stupid, crazy idea. Right? If you get some shit, you put some honey on it, put some perfume on it, and you bake it 15 minutes, hell, you can make a shit cake, man. And since you cooked it good, and you put Elijah on it, man, so here comes some dumb shit. And then they try to find, then they distort the scriptures to support that dumb stuff. That's what he did. Because none of that stuff he said made any sense. He picking scriptures, then why are you jumping over scripture? If you keep telling people, why you keep telling people this scripture when you deny other scripture? That should be a goddamn hypocrite right there. I'm not going to tell people to go in and say, oh, believe in the Bible, but believe in this part, don't believe in the other part. What happens to those people doing that? So I'm going to determine what scripture is so good and what scripture is no good. I'm doing it. I said, the Bible's 100%. There's bad translations out there. You get your transliteral, and I'm with you 100%. If you translate directly from the manuscripts, 100%. I ain't picking and choosing. You don't see me picking and choosing. I explain. Then I back up my explanations with mathematics. I have faith in mathematics. I talked about that recently. See? Because I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting to that in a minute. It's totally shit show. I'll talk more things, but I think I'm going to leave it there, bro, because it's sickening. And if Elijah was around, he'd cut their throats. He'd have meat and shit. Because that's what's coming out of their mouth and shit. It made no sense what he's talking. And then, so look at the so-called Me and Man March. You see that shit show on that one? Oh. Well, Farrakhan got the idea. And nobody came up with the idea but him. And people want to get up there and say stuff, but they had no input on come with his idea. Isn't that what they were saying? Am I paraphrasing here? This is what they're saying, right? Okay. And God inspired him. Right? This is inspiration from God. See? Not to mention that if you're part of the body, people might understand this, right? See, feed people their idea of marching. See? They ask people, let's do sit-ins. You think that's a joke? No, it's not. That's their mentality. So that's show you what part of the body Farrakhan is. See? Brain cells think this thing out. Different approaches. Because we're part of the body. That's I'm leaving them alone. The point is, think about it. That's what he's saying. Okay. But why did they never mention the second so-called Man March? Why? That's encore. Man, hell. Aretha comes out there, man, she's jamming. Hell yeah, I'm going to the encore. Man, she don't already show what you can do. When you buy something, right, and it tastes good, don't you buy it again? Right? You meet somebody, you like them, you're going to take their name now and meet them again. And then you find a good experience with, you want to repeat that experience. So what the fuck happened in Second Million Man March? I remember I showed up in that, not even Farrakhan. They took credit for the first one, but they tried to like, oh, that was his idea. And what how can I show up? Because 90% of the people, 99% of the people that was there wasn't with Farrakhan. They were with the ministers that he claimed they want to say something that had nothing to do, have anything to do with it. Farrakhan actually lost members after so-called Million Man March. And you see, did that have an impact on the black community? Has the black community got better because of that book he was talking about? Is it better now? He said inspired by Allah. If Allah was behind it, it should have bore fruit, right? It should have bore fruit if Allah was behind it, right? Did it bear any fruit? No. Shitstorm. It's worst I did ever. And the people, if he was inspiring them, how come they become part of him? They went back home to Jesus. They went back to Jesus. Come back to Farrakhan. Went back to Jesus. And so when he took credit for something, he's the one who's taking credit for something that wasn't his. Because what happened is when he did the next one, the preacher said, hey, that was your idea? Is your God that brought gave you inspiration? Well, you gotta let him do it for you. We out. They didn't back him. So he was such a damn coward. See, because now he's exposed. So he didn't even show up for the second one. They never talked about the second one, do they? I went to that second one to see what that was about. It was no one there. Even and even had women and children there. And there was no one there. And he didn't show up himself. He did a video thing. See, the bullshit's so high over there. Just even if you wear neck-high boots, you can't rise above the shit that comes from over there. They're sick. They're desperate. See? The so-called Million Man farce didn't inspire anybody to anything, nothing. Had no effect on the so-called black community, zero. He actually lost people. Wasn't he doing time he got his ass blown up? Thank God protecting him. Well, would the God fall asleep? I thought he didn't sleep. That's according to him. So the God protecting him. What was God at? When they blew his ass up with that cancer radiation. Now he's pissing and shitting in a bag. Can't wipe his own ass. And I'm hearing that they got to watch him closely because if they don't move every bag, they got to keep watching him because he'll take and get hungry and go in that bag, think it's food. Then he's going to shit all over his face. That's why I'm showing pictures of him. It's a joke. Curse with a curse. That's not a curse. The other one, he went out with diabetes, very painful. Both of them robbed the nation. Benjamins. Of course, see Million Man farce. And that's what they keep playing on it. But they got nothing else to play on. And if we look at it, oh, that was the greatest thing. Well, okay, well, why nobody show for a second one? Man, it was me and Mark. The first one, that was so great. Shit, they should have had 2 million on the next one, 3 million, 5 million. They're lucky they got 100,000. I don't think they got anywhere near that. You hear anything about the so-called second Million Man March? I'm gonna move on, brother, sisters, because I said these people are sick. And watch happen when they get lined up. When this war resumes, they're cast out. They're gonna be running like hell because anyone get caught, oh man, a lot of them gonna get caught. Something's just too stupid. They think they can talk their way out of it. Talk time's over. Talk time's over. No more talking. See this? Now, because this picture here on the left, they actually suppressed my videos. Well, that's what y'all did. Get back up here, bro. See, we go again. Hold on a second. How did that happen? Yeah. No, I fixed that, so I guess it didn't. I know I did that, but I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I know I did just for this, and all of a sudden it went backwards. So I don't know. They're trying to give me a stroke, so it's all right. And see here, bro, it says, they actually playing one of my videos, I had a piece of them claim that this is in there. This is pictures of you got the internet. This is what they're doing to us. This is just some pictures here I wanted to show. This is what we was going through for the last 40 years. He's beating the man, but he's raping the woman. That's his baby. He raped her. She gave his baby. Then she got to breastfeed the baby, and the baby will grow up calling a nigga. Probably already calling one already. Nigga. This one they get rid of. Doing surgery on her with no anesthesia. She's just an object. See over here? This stuff they was doing. And this is mild compared to what they actually did. But if you got that in mind, then how can you condone this? Here's his daddy. He says daddy raped his mama. They produced him. Dad's a devil. Principal Clark. Just Google it. He admits it. We got him admitting it. So he says he raped his mama, produced him. So like father, like son, and he's raping he raping his sisters, and they're Switzerland. That's what they've been doing. About the Benjamins. What some years raping. He didn't produce a goddamn thing. And he's not representing Elijah Muhammad's teaching, because if you say I hears and you listen to this, come and get your $5,000. He'll show me one instance, one verse in the Bible Quran that supports him being the Messiah, what he says he is, and show me where he's supporting Elijah Muhammad's teachings and Master Muhammad's teachings. Show me. And you got $5,000 right away. Bam, clear. No questions asked. You can't, because you know I'm not lying on this stinking clown. Father like son, he's raping especially sisters. But the devil, they're okay. All that stuff did to us, they're all right. So 40 years, and he's in love with them because he's one of them. How can you just pass on that one? If you're a person, I'm a Christian. If you punch me, I'm just going to turn all cheek. When the bullet comes down, he's going to beat your ass all the time. Because he already told me you ain't going to fight back. You become his punching bag. What the Quran says about that? Say they're going to try to mix things up. The Quran says, men of understanding, retaliation is good for you. Retaliation. Oh. Jesus says, he taught forgiveness. That's bullshit. You better read. Have you read Revelations yet? Have you read Revelations yet? See, they just taught stuff. Oh, well, he was talking about just forgiveness. In the Old Testament, he's talking about the law. No, that's bullshit. That's Paul's stuff. It's a whole different story together. But if you read Revelations and took on New Testament, right? It's the same thing as so-called New Testament anyway, so-called New Testament. Discipline. That's why they lost, because they took BS you talking about, not because you talk about it, but they went and dropped the discipline the Catholic Church did. Oh, you ain't got, that's listening to Paul stuff. You just got to believe in Jesus. So they dropped discipline, and that caused them to go into lose their power, and they was in darkness for 1,000 years. And didn't come out of it until they broke away from the church. Magog, particularly Britain. Magog, God came out of Britain. Magog means mother God. Broke away and went back to the so-called Old Testament, the law. And their power came back. They've been ruling ever since. They did look at our children. Look how sad they are. They know they're in danger because every time there was something, we're going gator hunting, they knew what that meant. That means they was going to get fed to the gator. There was the bait. Our children was goddamn gator bait. We got the pictures of it. Go and just Google and say gator bait. Google and see if you don't show the pictures. Actual pictures. They're feeding our children gators. Catch gators. And this goddamn asshole, stinking bum, going to talk, I'm not going to heaven. Are we supposed to pass on that? And if we did pass on it, so good Christians, you understand? You know what you be? You're going to be a nation. You'll be extinct in the next 100 years. You know why? Because your women are going to say, fuck y'all. Bam. We don't get us a man. We're going to find some men somewhere. Because y'all ain't shit. They did all that to us, and you want to come out, I love them. Or can I bend over? Can you do me too? And you couldn't blame them. They ban you now. They walk away from you now. And half of you think you're married to them. They doing the bad boy in the background, school and work carrying on. They don't have no respect for you. They were walking out, just whoop their ass, and you just sit there. You want to put me in jail too? I don't respect for you. Our women are in danger here. They're in danger here. They're open, they're exposed. Look how many times we feel our women being killed and shot and everything else. You know, I saw this thing not so long ago, about a couple of years ago, right? And they was at this party someplace, right? In Devil's Neighborhood. I don't know all those details, but the problem is, there was a sister, young sister, like she was a teenager, and whatever went down, they had out there on the lawn, the police whooping her ass, and everybody just standing around looking. Really? You know something? It didn't happen while Elijah Muhammad was around. It didn't matter if she was Muslim or not. Somebody was going to die. Something was going to happen there. Anywhere in the world, these brothers would sit around and some sister, they don't care if she's Muslim or not, get her ass whooped like that, like they was doing to her. Nobody fucked with the MGT when Elijah Muhammad was around. I'll tell you that right now. I was there. I said, he got a bad heart. Well, you're right. I got a damn bad heart. You know how I got it? It's a consequence of what you did to me. The only way it's going to get pure again is when I take my revenge. What you did? That's how you purify yourself. Because somebody throw shit on you, the only way you purify, you got to wipe the shit off. Return it to its source. That says their vengeance. Not their conciliation. They're doing them as they've done to you. What about that verse? Isn't that verse in the so-called New Testament? Dumbass Jeffrey or Daniel. Woo! That's what it is, brothers and sisters. This is not a game. You're going to find out in a minute. See, it says there's going to be a strange thing happening here. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. They did it. You don't have to respect the sisters. You don't have it. I don't care who you think. You don't have it. I got some respect for my wife, but still, I don't get the full respect because she's still right here. You're not going to get it from them because they don't feel safe, secure here. If their security ain't coming from you, they come from NASA. Who they call 911? They don't call Farrakhan. They call 911. They don't call Farrakhan. What a joke. What a joke. Okay, little teddy bear. You did ask bear, he's in worse shape than that now. He ain't smiling. But he might be smiling because, you know, he's drooling on himself. I put this out. I said this is where he's going to end up. I put this out before. About 3 years ago, I guess. Somewhere. He's in worse shape now. Cute little diaper on. Can't wipe his own ass. Okay, let's get into it, bro. Let's see what we got. And this again, right? These demons, we got it's 3 class. It's actually 4 classes. I'm not showing it 3. I'm not showing the elect because they above all this. These are demons over here. They cannot understand this message. It's above their pay grade. It's above their mental level. They can feel it. And they'll come at you because it hurts. Don't know what it is, but it hurts. And they're going to try to stop that was hurting them. Because they're folding. The so-called Nation of Islam over there on the Farrakhan is folding. It's consuming. See, they talk about so-called, all these people, man march, and they can't even feel that temple over there. They call it march. They can't even feel that. But they got man march. They can't even feel that. And then they claim, oh, well, on the anniversary, we're going to fill the house. And nobody showed up. And then a brother pointed out to me that the people that was there, they wasn't even their own people. That was that minister that showed up there. That he brought his own people. He ain't spied no goddamn body. It's all a goddamn lie. Man farce. But see, I gave a little mathematics yesterday. I don't know if I'll speak a little bit. I don't want to get diverted here, brothers and sisters. Right. I try to explain to you. We all get the same amount of energy. But energy deprivation, there wasn't enough energy to maintain ourselves. If we Lamborghinis, there's not enough energy to maintain ourselves. We didn't have enough to maintain ourselves. So it was like parking in the garage. Right? I didn't even have a garage. It was on the street. They couldn't move. Had no money for gas, anything. Everybody makes the same amount of money. So we get somebody get a Volkswagen Beetle. Oh, they don't spend. Now they got some extra money. But it don't take as much to maintain that. That's the devils. It don't take much to maintain them. They eat pork. They eat all that stuff. It don't take much energy to maintain them. But we got a Lamborghini. But it takes all the energy we have because the energy, all the energy that used to be here is way out there now. So we have less. That's why you got polar caps. Why you got deserts and everything else because less energy on the earth at the time. And so we suffered the most because we got the top line structure. So they said, oh, let's make a structure that's lower, and they can rule. That's the whole stuff about Adam. That's the devils. They're weaker level. So they land these Volkswagen Beetles. So what if you mix a Volkswagen Beetle with a Lamborghini? And the Volkswagen Beetle is the father. Okay, now you got something in between. So it ain't as powerful as a Volkswagen Beetle. It may be a BMW. You see? But they're more powerful than a Lamborghini. What's the demons? I don't want to go in that kind of science here. I said so much stuff I kind of let it out yesterday, so I figured let me speak to it again. So much stuff I didn't really get into that one. I cut it out yesterday, and I'm 76 years old. I've got Alzheimer's. I say stuff I don't. Stuff pop out, boy. Oh man, I said that. They said that. My wife gets really mad at me. She really gets mad. She really gets mad at me. She told me, for a time, she's going to punch your mouth. I can tell my Alzheimer's. She told me, you get out, punch in your mouth. Okay. She'll weigh about 5 pounds. I said, okay. Okay. What you told me I got to bam. It's kind of funny, but she told me, she's serious. She said, stop talking about Alzheimer's. I said, well, I can't remember to stop talking about it. Oh, then I get punched again. Anyway. Right? I was telling it started off, I said, we was watching this movie. On the weekends, right, we watch it, and like Saturday night, right, we watch a movie or something. And I couldn't find anything decent. I said, well, play it all with. And this a few weeks back, I made a joke. I said, well, if you got all the time, you can watch the same movie over and again and appreciate it. I should never say that. You know what you're talking about? Okay, anyway. But right here in the middle here, that's our people, but they don't have their mind, they're locked down, they clean this world likely. They're nervous, they don't have any faith. You understand? And mess it, or they mess with them blocked or whatever. They're afraid. This exorcism, people are afraid, whatever the case is. So they can hear the angel, they can recognize it, but they don't apply it, they don't act on it. Okay. So they stare at you, stand here wondering, right? And there'd be two groups that go to the tribulation. Both Levites, one in one category, is just holding on, one, and the other one, hey, they get it, they apply it. Start thinking. The ones really not thinking, just wondering. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. I talked about it yesterday, so I don't think I'm going to elaborate too much. Elaborate at all. Okay. Now in Daniel, the first like a lion had eagle wings. Healthy wings were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made to stand upon the feet as a man. Man's heart was talking mind. So that's in Daniel tells us that our mind was taken from us. It was living as a beast. It was given a beast mind. I mean, if the devil's a beast, what kind of mind? The only man they can give you is the mind they got. That's why we're looking like them, acting like them, talking like them. They gave us their mind, which is against us. That they tell you, if you just pay attention to that little thing right there, they gave you mind. And, okay, what's our names? What's our religion? How we identify with them. We totally changed. Totally, it changes totally. When you hate something, it changes totally. Excuse me. The more you hate, the more you change it. If you hate 100%, you change 100%. But the other side of that coin is this, right? If the mind they gave you was a good mind, if an enemy gives you mind, what you going to do with that mind? See, if you're a cat in dog land, and you're a cat that got a dog's mind, you're going to beat up on cats and you're going to beat yourself up. He said the man was beating himself up because he had the mind, because there's people that gave him, remember, we act like them, so they gave us their mind. So if we beat ourselves with their mind, that tells us they're enemy to us by nature. Their mind, you see what their mind done to us, turns be like them, their names, their culture, their religion, everything. And the man was beating himself up. That means that was the enemy mind, and they hate us. That all that's enough information right there. It's 100%. It was a mind, and they show how much they hate you because what are you doing with that mind they gave you? You're beating yourself up. That's what that one thing. That shows you how they feel about you. They beating you up. Because that's what your mind, the mind they gave you is their mind. So you look like them, act like them, talk like them, and what you're doing with that mind, you're beating yourself up. That shows their intention for you. You're destroying yourself. That means they want you destroyed. I mean, I think people start thinking these things through. It's so much. I tell you, you can get deep. Every time I do this, I get deeper and deeper into it. And you say, damn, how come I ain't say it? Because you ain't thinking through it. That show you what they got planned for you. Destruction. Because that's what your mind that they have you is destroying yourself. You're beating yourself up. Howling at yourself. And that's why it's a sweat had to come and get that mind away from you before you destroyed yourself. How long can you beat yourself up before you destroy yourself? But that wasn't your mind, your nature. That was your nature. They said, see, Farrakhan blamed us. No, how you know it? Because he didn't like that mind. He knew something was wrong with it. So he ran to, what was the basis of him running to the message of the covenant? It wasn't on the mind. It had to be his nature that drew him to it. That's sure. It was a conflict between that mind and his nature. But nature got strong enough, right? To seek a remedy. But he couldn't do it himself. Because the message of covenant had the remedy, the angel. All that in that little story right there. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, you can read it. I'm going to go ahead and read it. Thus were the visions of my mind in my bed. I saw a tree in the midst of the earth, and height thereof was great. The tree grew and was strong, and height thereof reached into the heaven, and sight thereof to the end of the earth. I'm going to get a little distracted here, brothers and sisters, but I'm going to bring up a major point. The leaves thereof were fair, and fruit thereof much, and it was meant for me for all. For the beasts of the field, shadow under it, for the fowls of heaven dwelt in the bowels thereof in the flesh. That means this is the nation. Remember to my beasts, the flesh. They was all living under this particular tree, which represents, it covers the whole earth. So that's a nation. That's the nation that was ruled. You don't know a nation that ruled like that. It's foreign, right? And dwelt in thereof, and flesh was fed of it. So I saw vision out of my head upon the bed and upon the watcher, and the Holy One come down from heaven. Now, you have to understand down for this, because the Holy One represents the Arabs, the Holy Ones. So the power of the holy people will be broken. That's about to happen over there right now. Right? See? And he cut down the tree. What's telling is that story of Joseph and his brothers. His brothers, the one cut him down, broke his nation up, and sold him into bondage. That's not what happened to us. That's tough. We that tree. We come to earth, everybody, we control. We're the gods. Make it on the cream planet earth, God of the universe. It was cut down by the Arabs. They betrayed us. And then took our land, our language, everything, and left us for dead. And they come up here, look at you like they could piss on you or something. Fuck them. They did. They broke our power, and their souls in slavery. Souls in the Holocaust. And so what you're seeing right now is a consequence, because now their power is about to be broken, and they're about to take into enslavement. You see? And they're kicked out. See, I didn't mention that before, but if you pay attention to the art, right? They kicked out of it. Heavens and put it under control of NOI. the very ones they've been spitting on, shitting on, now they're ruling them. They're the rulers now. Get ready, Ishmael. I ain't talking about that stupid Ishmael with Farrakhan. Yeah, you better get ready too. Ready, Ishmael, we're coming home. Where's our home at? Where the covenant says, between the river Euphrates and the river of Egypt, look on your map, Arabia, we're coming home. Because the covenant brings us home. Joshua brings us home. And we're taking back every damn thing you took away from us. But it says, them, they, and the iron, them, no, excuse me, that tree. But that tree had a band of brass and a band of iron. That's what kept it enslaved. And if you understand Daniel, I'm not going into detail, but have a presentation explain it. They're talking about the so-called synagogue of Satan, false Israel, and Gog and Magog. They're the ones that had us bound. That tree bound, was cut down and bound. They tell, oh, Washington, no. And it stay bound until Joshua, the eagle, show you in a minute, plucked off of them. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. That gives you a connection with what's going on over it. That's consequence. Yeah. Who is the one who's breaking it? See, they gave us over to the devils who broke our power. They didn't actually break it. They gave us to the devils that broke our power. They're the ones that broke us. So who's breaking them now? The same people that they gave us into Magog and false prophet and Israel. Consequences of Let's talk about this for a minute. Now, see, you people, they say mind and brain. They think mind and brain is not the same thing, brothers and sisters. Your mind is like the software in your computer. Then your hardware is do the calculation. Software just gives the information. You understand? So that's what happens. You have a mind, there's no hardware. Right? That's software. So information comes in there, it controls information, it goes into the brain. So what the brain calculates is going to be based on the information it gets, and that's the way it's going to act on that information. So they've been controlling the information that goes into our minds for the last 5 years. They enforce it militarily, and they got the priests constantly. And so that's going in. And then that mind says, okay, take the information and force feed it to the brain. Massage it or whatever, depends on whatever kind of editing you got on their mind. But that's part of the process, editing. Don't listen to this information. Don't listen to Muslims over there. There's no black man. So that's part of editing. When information goes in. And once information come in, then you act on it. And so this is, see, exactly, easy to call it. Because that's all this, I mean, how can we be Muslims? We came over here Muslim. That's a fact. You said an old movie show you that. How can we be Muslim? How can we be what we were? When we came over here, they locked everything out. They took our names from us, our religion. We had no information, anything else. So why are we believing what we believe now? Why are we thinking the way we think now? Why we act the way we think now? When goddamn devils is one that feds information. That's why we like we are right now. They let you have anything else. The Farrakhan blaming us. And those of you listening should think about that, because the reason why you acting like that and believe in that, because that's all the information they allowed you to have. And so why would you trust the people that was raping us, beating us, sodomizing us, and things you can't imagine? Why would you believe the information they been giving you? Because you know the information we give you. Look at yourself in the mirror. That's the information we're giving. What you think you know, that's the information they've been controlling. And they tell you, what is it doing for you? Is it helping you? That means it's enemy information. Enemy is against you. That's why I had you beat yourself up, because they give you information that's against you. That's for them. They give you their information, but sure, by nature, they're against you, because they gave you their information that they have, because only their dog can only give you bones. That's all they know. So they gave you their information, but it shows you if you act against yourself, that means they are naturally against you by nature. And anything they give you is going to be against you. Everything they give you is going to be against you. Move on, brothers and sisters. So many seasons. The kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in the field, which a man found and hidden again. From a joy over it goes and sells all he has by the field. That's a hard lesson for a lot of people. For years, I wouldn't even say it. But it says, if you love your mother, your father, if you ain't willing to get them up, you ain't worthy to follow the Son of Man. So those who say their lives will lose it. They'll see the lose life will say, that's a hard. And the reason that is because, again, energy deprivation. Because say it takes $10,000 to catch a boat to get the hell out of here, right? And you make $1,000 a day. So say, well, in 10 days I can get out of here. Well, yeah, if you can put all, but right now, you make $10,000, you make $1,000 a day, but you need $999. Just keep breathing. That's it. Because remember, it takes energy for your heart to beat, for your lungs to breathe, the thing. So you need $999 just to stay alive. So you only got $1. You need $1,000. So you got that's 1,000 days if you could say that $1. But now, man, you want to meet somebody, so now you got energy for that. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it is. That's why, because of energy deprivation, we have to muster all the energy that we have, everything, just to get the hell out of here. That's why it is like that. It's not like God wishes to punish you. That's the mathematics of it. Because they say it takes $10,000 to get that ticket, and you got to spend all your, and you only got 10 days to do it. That means you ain't got energy for anything else. Nothing else. If you do something else, you ain't gonna have enough. So when time come to go, you got $9,999. Too bad. You're $1 short. You ain't gonna make it. Understand that, bro? It says it's not a chastisement thing to be. It's telling you which. That's what the job of MESSNEGER coming to tell you what necessary to do. So the point is to get out here on time, to save your ass. You have to use every ounce of energy you got to save yourself. You ain't having to save anybody else, just yourself. That's because it's the situation we're in. And if you want to sit here for another 50 years, then yeah, maybe you can take you and your car. Yeah, but you want to suffer. But that's a story. I don't want to go there. That's too many things, too many variables to add to that. Okay, let's talk about these springs. I'm talking in general. Right now, you got 4 seasons, 6,000 years, 6,000 years, 6,000 years, 6,000 years. Altogether, it's 24,000 years. Almost 20. You know, it's possibly between 24 and 25,000 years. The cycle on the axis, and so it's 4 seasons. That's why it says 6,000 years, which come to the worst winter season possible. But winter season against us. We're summer people. So we suffer immensely during the winter season. But the snow people, they're good. What's colors? Winter, white. They did well. They were successful. They thought that winters, they didn't know anything about spring. They never experienced the spring. They didn't know anything about summer. All they know is it's winter. And they told us we'd be under their control forever. Because winter be forever. And then mass propagation, no. There's a spring period coming. This winter's only going to last 6,000 years. There's a spring period coming right after that. I'm the God of the spring. I'm gonna send you Elijah to warm you up, to get you ready for it. Oh man, there's a spring. I got hope. Oh man, I'm not gonna be on these people. They're gonna be gone. My pressure's gonna be gone. Oh, this. Right? Oh man, they got to shut them down, man. Look, we gotta lose control of them. Said Farrakhan and them tell me ain't no damn spring, ain't going nowhere. Ain't no God. Messenger ain't nothing. He's telling you a lie. Ain't no spring. Where is that? It's warming up. Oh, that's global warming, man. Something wrong. Something wrong with the planet. We got to stop global warming. It starts warming up when the spring comes, don't it? That's bad. And y'all got to help us, man. We got to stop this global warming. You get the point? Spring's coming. Global warming is bad for spring. Things heating up. And the warmer it gets, the more trouble it is for us. They start seeing the power failing. The powers of ice and snow and hail and earth and snowstorms. So now everything's melting. Things start melting. They're losing their power. Why? Well, it's global warming. And now you're starting to get a little stronger. I want some civil rights. I may not feel no more. People starting to get a little stronger now, get a little warmer. So you're not as cold as you were before. You were shivering. And now they get sunburns. Oh, man. They want to stop this thing. They get more violent. How come you? What's wrong with you? How come you ain't with us? See, it's how simple it is. And so the closer it gets to spring, the more violent they're going to be coming, trying to hold on to the winter. Because they can't. And everything, let's make winter great again. Everybody's trying to stop America being great again. Losing power everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You start getting more energized. Niggas losing control of niggas. Losing control of niggas. That, you can look at that from the point of view, brothers and sisters, and it's perfect, correct. When we summer people. So you need a transition. Spring is transition between summer and winter, which is spring. So if you got a winter god, and you got a summer god, then with spring god, the transition, that means he'd be half summer and half winter, wouldn't he? On the summer side, Master Farrakhan Muhammad, half and half. He's the god of the spring for the next 6,000 years. My brothers and sisters. Winter. It's a violent transition. It's a violent transition between spring and winter. Because when the spring, all the winter is totally destroyed. And the winter don't want to be destroyed. It's a violent, that's what you see. Apocalypse. Armageddon is a violent transition. They're going to do everything they can to stop the spring from coming in. It's a violent. Because when spring comes in, what happens? There's no trace of the winter. It's totally wiped out, destroyed. But Farrakhan said, I want to stay in the winter. I love the winter. So who is he? Is he a winter person? He don't want to see spring come. I don't want to see nothing happen to America. I want to go to a place I like it here. I like it in the winter. Total destruction, as Matt Muhammad said. You see any winter there? You see ice there when spring comes in? No, it's all gone. All gone. Totally wiped. Make all things new. All things new. You see any trace of winter there? Isn't all things new? Then boom. Summer finally come. 6,000 years now, summer's. Now rejoice, now it's our time. See? It was our time during spring. We was doing good. But we didn't have control, like Elijah Muhammad said. Master Muhammad would have control for the next 6,000 years, and then finally, control back up. We had transition. We're doing better. We're not suffering. We're in paradise. First stage of it, stage one. Then goes summer. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, I found this thing I was talking about on Quran, but I didn't find the exact verse I was actually looking for. But this is the point, right? So those on the right hand, how happy are those on the right hand? Those on the left, how rich are those on the left? And the foremost are the foremost. These are drawn to Allah in gardens of bliss, and multitude from among the first, and few from those of the latter times. This is talking about the elect and the Levites here. On thrones enwrought, reclining on them, facing each other, round about they will go use, never altering in age, with goblets and ewers and cups of pure drink. They are not affected with head, ate, near, thereby nor are they intoxicated. The fruits that they choose, and the fruits they choose, and the flesh of the fowl they desire, and pure, beautiful ones like hidden pearls, reward for what they did. It's my females here. And pure, beautiful ones like hidden pearls. Ain't no such thing as an ugly, original black female. They start looking bad when they get older because, like Mama said, because they're eating the life they went through and everything else. They're trying to be like, look like devils. But you ever seen a young black female look bad? I never seen one. When they're young, they get older, they start messing around. I never seen one look, a young one, I never seen one look bad. They all look, and they're going to look even more beautiful when they get home. They hear there no vain or simple talk. Remember I told you can't just say anything. And that clown says, hey man, we're all wicked, we're all evil. Would that include Farrakhan? You would talk correctly when you talk mathematically. You just can't say anything. He didn't say anything. It's called freedom of speech or whatever. They don't even believe in that. They hear there no vain or sinful talk, no vain talk. Talk correct. But only saying, peace, peace. Those on the right hand, how happy those on the right hand, amid thornless low trees and clustered bland trees and stems of shade. See, there's no capitalism because there's food everywhere. That destroys this whole reality. Every level, religious, economic, social, and water gushing and abundant fruit, neither intercepted nor forbidden. Food everywhere. Nothing forbidden because all the food is pure good. Exalted couches, surely we created them in new creation. So we have made them virgins. All the females be like virgins again. Our women would be restored totally with honor. See? Dignity. We made them virgins, loving, equal in age. See? Young. All of them look like 14, 15, 16 years old. I guess that's okay for females. If I said the wrong age, don't get mad at me. Right? I'm working on it. For those on the right hand, and multitude from among those of first, and multitude for those of latter times. There's going to be a lot of Levites too. What do you elect? I showed you the three classes, right? Then here, said you got to understand the universe. It's three main parts you need to understand. You're going to be the God. You can't be a God if you don't do your universe. You don't control your own energy. You got to have 100% control of your energy. Right now you don't. I don't have 100% control because we're here. Majority of it. But as long as we're here, we don't have it. Master Muhammad didn't have it either. Oh, no, then he wouldn't. Didn't Muhammad tell you, they put him in prison, they threw him in jail several times. If you're here in their will, right, we was told to obey them while we're here. That means that right there, obey their laws. That means they have some control over us. So we cannot be gods while we're here. In order to be gods, we get out of here, we have to have total control of, first of all, our own energy. Not trying to control others. Control yours. Don't have it yet. And then you have to have knowledge. In order to do it, you have to have knowledge of how to do it. You have to know about 5 pillars. Right? And here, right, I'm going to talk about this quickly, move on, right? Pressure is the nature of our environment. I'm just going to touch it. Pressure, that's the nature. Understand how pressure works. That's the nature of our reality. Vectors is force, is the crucial, is the essence of it. Every action has opposite reaction. That's the fundamental principle of the universe. Every action has opposite reaction. That in effect speaks to the fact the universe opens and closes, but I'm not going to get to that. I'm going to give you just a simple, the basic. And then you have to know the tool, the language to operate, and that's calculus. And it's very simple. All of them are very simple. I made it simple. You go to school over there, you learn calculus, you spend 6 months, you still understand the nature of it. I'm telling you exactly what it is. It's very simple. You have to know those things. That's getting control of your individually and also of your environment. Because the universe is ours. Make our own cream of the planet Earth called the universe. Yes. Okay. Action, reaction. That's vectors. Vectors, calculus, pressure. All of us connected. One's the language, one's the actual environment, one's the nature of it. And again, this simple. It took 6,000 years to get down here, the roots down to nothing after 6,000 years. It may take 6,000 years to get back out of it. That's Mastrama's time now. We still, I want to confuse you here. We're still in the time of Adam. The thing is, we got, right? Because he's half Adam, right? We show energy deprivation, so we don't get control until Travis Shabazz, and we back here gold again. It takes 6,000 years. But now instead of going down, ascending, we're ascending. That's the difference. We're ascending now. We're getting better and better and better. Let's move on. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can finish this Armageddon, and then I finish what I was working on this week. I was going to do this whole thing. I've been delaying it, so see if I can finish this up. My Armageddon. Okay. I already did much critique as I was going to do. Okay, let's go. Armageddon is a European war. Hit line, stupid, dumbass Farrakhan talking, Armageddon started, what, 4 years ago it was, 3 years ago? It's going to spread all over Europe and everything else. You seen Armageddon? They say they say something don't happen, that means you shouldn't listen to them anymore. Way. And that what you said at Ishmael? Well, you seen Armageddon? I haven't seen Armageddon. But it's a European war. The populace is the whole time thing. See, he thinks Armageddon is the whole thing. No, it's just European war. See? And it comes in 2 stages. America at war in Europe, Armageddon East, will commandeer all American oil reserves to federal armies as they battle in Europe. Now, what triggers Armageddon? What triggers Armageddon, this war will resume in the Middle East. That's what's going to trigger it. I told you that. When he mentioned that years ago, I said, no, you're wrong. I said, Armageddon is not. I said, the war in the Middle East will trigger it. Go check my presentations. I said, the war in the Middle East will trigger it before there was any war, before they had the bomb this desolation, which you don't even realize has been taking place since 2 years, October 7th. What happens is that when this war resumes, you understand, false Israel was set up to keep us destroy our having a vision, because like Muhammad gave us a vision. What vision you have for Farrakhan? You don't have a vision with him. What vision you have for Farrakhan? You ain't going anywhere. We ain't going anywhere. We're going to stay here. What vision do you have with Farrakhan? None. People without vision perish. Like Muhammad gave you a vision. Farrakhan said, no, we ain't going nowhere. We have a vision. And he's the last one. Ain't nobody after him. No mess with the covenant. So he took your vision away, and you don't even understand what's happened there. You understand? So that's why falsehood is set up. Now, falsehood is about to go down. That means our vision will be restored, because then we realize we are true seed Abraham. That's going to cause us to unite. They can't have that. Okay. Anyway, once that happens, it tells you that the king of the north, they would take control of the whole Middle East. They would break, right? They can control, right? They would take control of it. It'd be a battle between them and the Sunni. It'd be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath in the Middle East. You can't imagine. It says people's hearts be failing. It's going to be so bad that people here will have heart attacks. They say men's hearts be failing for fear. Those things coming here because the powers of heaven be shaken. What's happening? What's happening over there? Race war between the Arabs and the Europeans, where they call themselves Jews. Religious war, Shia and Sunni. Economic war. Right? God make God. Right? And over control the oil and everything. Every level. That's at stake in this war. And when Iran wins, that means because all the things, race wars come here, social wars come here, economic wars come here. Say all of them. Race, religious. Tells the dragon stood by. The Sunni's going to attack us. Said the dragon stood by. The woman soon was born. When they were born today, that's when we're born. And right now we're about to be born. And so they're going to attack us. Y'all ain't Muslims? Because we're going to be taking back our land. And so they think they're fighting. That's no story. I'm not going to get to detail here, brothers and sisters. Religious war here. Because during tribulation, right? Those who go to tribulation, you'll be fighting the Sunnis. They're going to be attacking you. You had them attacking you. Religious. Religious. Right? Because you're the real Muslim. You're the one submitted. They're legit. You'll be calling the gym. You're going to know who they identify them as gym. So then you have the devil's attacking you. Religious race war. See what I'm saying? That's what happened here. It's going to be really bad. It's going to be a bloodbath here. But anyway, what happens is that American Britain is kicked out, Magog kicked out of the Middle East, like it says, the war in heaven, chapter 12, and they run to Europe. But now Europe, chapter 18, that's talking about Europe. It says there's total economic collapse. They have a total economic, not Russia, Europe. They have a total economic collapse because the oil is cut off in the Middle East. Because Iran cut them off. And they have no oil coming from Russia because that's what Russia. Total economic collapse, just like that. So the only way they can survive it is they have to make nicey with Russia. And that's what happens. They're going to turn, it says, they're going to turn on Gog and Magog. So their laws will abandon them, they will turn them. Ally with Russia so they can get oil. And so now America, all their bases, they got hundreds of bases over there in Europe, tens of thousands of troops under attack. Because now America is officially at war with, there was with Russia, right now Russia and Europe. So all their bases are under attack. So now America's got Russia over there trying to protect their military. And so in order to do that, they have to accommodate members. No, only oil they have access to now is the oil they have in America. It's hard to get that more oil out and refine and everything else. So they have to accommodate all available oil to go to war, protect their interests or their soldiers, their military in Europe. And the ones coming out of the Middle East are coming out with their ass on fire. Like they ran, you think they ran out of Afghanistan, around it. Vietnam, it's going to be much worse. They run out of the Middle East and run out of their ass on fire, and the ones get caught, oh boy, you don't want to know. The ones get caught, you don't want to know what's going to happen to them. They run out with their ass on fire. Rushing out of the Middle East. Rushing from the bear into the lion. But they run to Europe, and they'll run to a buzzsaw. Because now Europe is at war with America and Britain. And now they're running here, trying to get away from the Middle East. They run into war. America's desperate to get over there and try to protect them and protect all their soldiers over there, because all their bases are under attack. That's Armageddon. Armageddon East. It's Armageddon East, understand? Bloodbath like you can't imagine. See, full bloodbath. That's Armageddon East. But while they're doing that, right? Remember, they kicked out of the Middle East, so as far as Israel now is abandoned, it's under siege. The nuclear weapon's been neutralized by Master Muhammad. They can't use it. They totally cut off from food, water, everything. So now what they've been doing, consequence, what they've been doing to so-called Gazans, now it's happened to them. Total cut off. Cannibalism. Total cut off from all food, all water. They said they'd be drinking blood. Father be eating son and son eating father. It's worse than that. That's going over there in the Middle East. And because that's going on, and now their destruction is all but concluded. They got to attack us here now. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Because the only reason why it was important for us is to keep us realize who we were, keep us from uniting. But now, false is foregone conclusion. If they're gone, that's when begin the process of black folks united. The nation was born today, coming together to see the great army. That's what's about to happen. We're talking about days away, brothers and sisters. We're talking about this year. This year, 2025. Let me focus back on Europe, though. So you have bloodbath going over here. They're getting. Thing is, because they have to focus all their energy. Remember, all their oil goes straight to petroleum reserve. They're buying kind of emptied out. So now they got it. So it won't be an oil here. That means they have total economic collapse here. Because they're fighting each other in Europe. But remember, all the Europeans are fighting each other in Europe. Canada's going to get involved. Australia's going to get involved. Trying to help Britain and America, Gog and Magog. Right? Who the Europeans has turned against, Germany, France, and all that has turned against. But they had no choice. They couldn't get oil from America. Even if America could supply them oil, it would take months. Because you can't fly it over. You have to get out of the ground, and then you have to ship it over in boats. It takes a while. So they fight each other. All the Europeans are destroying each other. What does that mean? That's what it tells you. The 10 horns. Remember the dragon has 7 heads? And the 10 horns rise. That's it. The beast gave us, no, the dragon gave its power to the beast. China and India, that's the 10 horns. They rise. Because Europeans are tearing themselves apart. And now this opportunity to take them out while they're fighting each other. That's Armageddon. Full-fledged war. That's Armageddon East. So we got total collapse over here, economic collapse, because they got to view all their forces, everything. It also means there's going to be a draft. They're going to be trying to draft especially all folks, male and female. That's going to cause civil war. Here, we're going to get to that in a minute. They don't have to, because all they're based on attack, they're losing men like crazy, men and women, because they're based on the attack. They can't unify, and they rushing all troops over there trying to save them. Let's move on. That's Armageddon East. I think I just said it right here. Gog and Magog fleeing in the flames from the Middle East to Europe will find themselves attacked by Europeans. I just said. Europe, former NATO, EU, their economies collapse will betray America and ally with Russia as they are cut off from crucial oil from the Middle East. They will blame on America as they were allied with Russia, who has supplied them with oil. There's another thing going on here too. People say, well, how come they don't go back in the Middle East? How did they get kicked out of there? The Air Force, because the Air Force, remember, Michael and his angels, Michael's master from Muhammad. He destroys their Air Force with his mother, with his small planes. But they can't tell American people that. They tell American people it was Russia that helped Iran. They can tell American people. That caused a plague of flies. Because the largest community, so-called Jewish community you have, is over here in America. Part of it is in New Jersey itself. And they're going to want to know, how come, remember all the control, how much power they have over the American government? They're going to try to control, man, you got to go and help them, man. They're about to die. Look, they're starving. Remember, it wasn't all right what they're doing to Gaza. They're starving, man. They eat each other. Because the whole world going to see, because the Palestinians going to sit back, they keep them locked in. And they're going to have drone farms so everybody can see. They eat each other and what they're doing, so the whole world can see them going through what's happening to them. They're fighting each other. There's going to be civil war over there. They will blame Netanyahu. All kinds of stuff is going over there. It's going to be told. It's going to be a bloodbath in false Israel, eating each other and everything else. The whole world going to see it. Then you're going to have the wars over here. Hey, man, no. And they're going to try to do everything. They're going to say, well, we'll compromise the economy because they have control of the economy, the finance, infrastructure. We'll freeze all. They already got the oil problem, oil crisis, economic crisis. We'll freeze it all. America's desperate. No, we can't do that. Man, we need everything. We need everybody to work together. No. They're going to fight against America because they're going to try to force America to go back and help get busy, say false Israel's ass. And America ain't going because they know the real reason they cannot win. They got destroyed, defeated. The Air Force, they know they can't win. They know they can't stand up against that, and they won't tell American people. And the people, these flies don't know why. They're trying to force to do it, and they won't go it. And so you got total. That's the plague of flies. Infrastructure, who controls it? Facebook. See what I'm saying? Communication, all that stuff going to be shut down. And attempt to try to force him to go over there and force Israel. That's why I said, but a strange thing happened here, going total chaos. Days away, brothers and sisters, this year. That's the plague of flies. And America's not going to. So we're going to boycott whatever. Anything they have control, they're going to shut down. Congress, whatever. And they got control, they're going to block, sit down, whatever, shut down. Chaos here. That's immense hearts be filled with fear. Those things come upon the earth, powers heavy shaken. Now, we're still talking about Armageddon East. So it's total war over there. They total war. So they can't defend it. They total war. They bring all their force from China, everybody from there. So now they're defenseless. They fight each other. And so China intercept. It's our chance. This is the consequence of, plus, right? They'll be drafting a civil war here because they're drafting all blacks they can. And then, I don't think, if you can, I don't know if there'd be a concerned with age limit. You know they get anybody, right? What, between 15 and 16 and 50? Put them and throw them into the river. That's no story together. That's going to be, the resistance is going to be great on that because they ain't going. Civil war. Let's move on. Now Armageddon West. That's here. It's here. Because European war, economic collapse, insurrection, cannibalism, martial law. They try martial law, but it's going to fail. The military here, they only want to have food and stuff because They're going to accommodate everything to support the army. Right? They're going to have a, well, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but the black people came together in three groups. Military. So they're going to defeat the martial law. Martial law is not going to last very long. Strange thing, Babylon, four seals. The four seals are talking about everything that's happened to America. Do you understand? Seals, 1/4 earth, America's at 1/4 earth they're talking about. Okay, well, let me go and speak to it then. Armageddon, west here. The Europeans, the demons, which are Europeans, that's blackface Europeans, they'll be attacking all blacks. You got all the blacks that come over here on beaches and everything is from Africa. They're going to come to as an army. They'll come together as an army under Obama. Because remember, America will be attacking all blacks. They ain't going to try to discriminate because that's false Israel. They was there to keep us from uniting, so they're going to attack all blacks. Blacks going to fall into three groups. It's going to be the demons, who will be led not by Farrakhan, by some charismatic Christian. Farrakhan would be with them. Yet to be identified. But that's what the locust war is, and they're going to tear this country apart. They're eventually going to defeat everyone that's left here. They're going to take America. Just to lose it when the goat comes rolling in. They're going to take it. 17 million strong at least. Over together. That's the demons. While it's Levi saying, we get the hell out of here. They're fighting their way out. So the devil's fighting with them. They fight with the demons. But remember, the devil's not united. They'll fight over. They're hungry. Starving, the cannibalism, eating their own children, just attacking. It's like, wow, guerrillas all over the place. Not united. It's total chaos. Then you got the original, that's the Levites. The demons was kinfolk, kinfolk. I'm getting that backwards. Skinfolk and kinfolk. Skinfolk, right? Demon skinfolk, same skin. They'll be a strong army. They're strong as Samson. They're gonna bring America down, trying to fight ticket. Levites fighting to get the hell out of here, making their way to the West Coast. And then you got the one under Obama. You see a visa that includes Haitians and everybody else, right? They could be fighting because America. Remember, America will attack all blacks. They're going to fight back and attack anybody. They're going to attack us too. Anything that's not them, they're going to attack. And then you got all these other groups. The Chinese don't come together, the Indians don't, so forth. That's primarily the case. It's going to be total chaos. It says it'd be a strange thing happen here. Cannibalism off the page. Eating all their dogs, but then they're seeing their children. The children will be gangs. They can't stay with their parents because they get eaten. Then they run around in gangs. But then they got trouble with the gangs because the weak ones in the gangs were eaten by the older ones and there's no food. It says God's going to do a strange thing here in America. It's going to be like off the page. You're going to see it soon. That's what's going on. That's Armageddon. Levites, which called NOI, is making their way towards the West Coast. Under leadership yet to be determined. His demons will be with what you call a locust. Right? And then they're talking about chapter 17. The deal was made with 10 horns, or what you might refer to as a death of Hades, or the goat. That he would neutralize, he inspired them to take down America. That's what's said. It was inspired by the God. But the agreement was they would not be using nuclear weapons against them, and that when they get there, that so-called Red Sea, they would depart and let children of Israel go through. That's the agreement. And that'll take about 5 months because at that time, that's how long it's going to take the locusts to take down America. America will be totally messed up, divided, finally defeat and take control of it. Yes, at the time, the ghosts arriving on the West Coast. China, India. Let Levites go through. Then they close, remember, they let the children walk through. Red Sea, then close in on Pharaoh's armies. They close in. Well, actually, the demons are Pharaoh's armies because they're armies of America. At that point, they control America. And they wiped them out. They wipe out anything that's left here. No mercy, wipe out anything that's left here. And so-called Christian whites that survive, strong to survive, they take them captives, and then they nuke this place. Totally destroy, totally bring it down. That's what it said in Malachi, burns the oven. That's Armageddon. West. We go here. That Hades, that's the 10 horns, China, India. China, India with the BRICS alliance, which includes a semi-united African continent, will see Armageddon East. Now, Africa is uniting. And once this war takes place and comes to near completion, Africa will be united into 2 groups: Islamic Africa and non-Islamic Africa. They already, non-Islamic Africa will be communicating with Obama here, with his army, African army here. And that's the bear that talks to Daniel, where they will be with Gog and Magog. They will be with the bear took down 3 by the roots. It took down the ram and the goat. The goat had 1 horn, ram 2. So it's with the goat when it comes here. So it's Obama's job to soften it up internally, so it's easier for him to invade, because he's going to be with them. When he comes in, once they invade, they will unite with them when they leave. Obama's back there. All non-Islamic Africa rise around him. He's who you call Lucifer. He's the bear. And then he ends up getting war. Say, take down 3 horns by the root. He ends up taking down the goat. He ended up getting the war with China, India, and defeats them. He already got rid of Ram. Ram 2 horns, Magog. Let's follow. China, India, with BRICS alliance, which includes a semi-united African continent, will see Armageddon East, European war, as an opportunity to destroy European, particularly Gog and Magog's power. You see them fighting each other, so there was an opportunity. We can take them. They fighting each other. They ain't got time and the power to fight stand against us. Then Hades, China, India, respectively receive a communique from Master Fraud that he will support the invasion attack of Gog and Magog by neutralizing their nuclear arsenals, provide that they allow safe passage for NOI when they reach the West Coast. That's in chapter 17, talks about that. The angel. That Hades, China, India, respectively called the goat in Daniel. China, India, respectively called the goat and Daniel. Remember, that's the leopard with 4 heads and 4 wings. Why 4 heads? Because there's so many of them. 4 wings, so many of them. And what color is it? Yellow and brown. Which just turns into morphs to the goat. China, yellow and brown. And that's why 4 heads. And one is authoritarian, the heads, China, and one is democracy, the wings, India. Then Hades, China, India, especially called the goat in Daniel, attacks 2-horned ram, Gog and Magog. Gog is instantly destroyed in the most hideous way as China, as China and India with their BRICS allies descend upon America. America will have no help. They'll be begging for help. Everybody's going to sanction them. It's not going to last long anyway. No one's going to help them. So they're going to go down with it. No one will help them. Because remember, America's attacking everybody now. Trump, you're going to kick everybody's ass. So everybody's going to turn again. He will find help nowhere. We'll be pleading for help. Please help us. We'll help you. We'll do this for. No, nobody's going to hear it. The outcry of God for the sake of Magog will be awful. That means when Magog is taken down, in other words, Magog, Britain will take down on the way as they're making their way here to attack America. It says Magog, Britain, will be taken out. Another form of the firstborn, they were taken out in the most hideous way, almost instantly. And the outcry here will be so great. They realize, hey, man, how they took them out, they're going to do the same thing to us. They're going to take them in the most grievous way. Remember, Magog started all this. They're the ones that were selling drugs, forced drugs into China. They're the ones that initiated slavery in America. Well, they initiated because China, Spain and Portuguese. But the point is, they were the main ones all over the world. Now, time of vengeance. That Haiti speak. Oh, well, I got here twice. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Hazen. Okay, Hazen, China, Death Haiti, China, India will arrive on the west coast of America approximately 5 months after Gog and Magog defeated by Michael. I gotta get my spelling correct here. The saints will have reached NOI, will have reached the west coast, and demons will have taken control of America, defeating devils. I said the demons that we would. Let's come out in Mark where he goes and said, "No, don't make me leave the country. I will stay with the demons, with the devils, right? I mean, with swine. Then you get to fighting together, click together. What's happening here? Demons are, they be Christians, blacks mostly. Farrakhan will be with them, and there'll be some charismatic Christian preacher that's going to lead their battle. Won't be Farrakhan. Farrakhan will have partial recovery. Because he will be there. Because that's what Scripture says. He will be in it. Here it is. Here's the goat. See the bear right there? The bear was with him. They come out that ram. The horns. Said to come across the ocean. Feet not touching land. From the west. The only way that could be that has to be Pacific Ocean they're talking about. If you're not touching land. And China doesn't have this coastline is, because if the feet touch land, that means their coastline has to be on the east side, Pacific Ocean. And America's coastline has to be on the west side of America for that probably be correct. And so they'd be angry. The goat would be angry at the ram. Angry at it. Said the ram originated from the east, Europe. So it's clear. Death Haiti, China in the call, the Red Sea will part and allow the NOI to pass through as agreed upon to Master Farad. The demons will seek to defend America. They will possess only the demons will seek to defend the America they now possess. They will get control. Samson got control of America. Only to be utterly defeated by China and India. The African army under Obama will unite with the African army that is with China and India. I already spoke to that. I'm leave it there, brothers and sisters. We're days away. Leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these are these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people, and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years? And so you wonder, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself. And I completely understand the anger. I don't like you. I abhor any form of violence. But I do understand the anger when you have, Keir Starmer campaigned, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And Are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is like, is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. Like, it's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. Like, that was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, like, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are. And that's real. And no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, I don't know, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist.
Well,
I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law... What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is a lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been such a
society
thing. One culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multicultural there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society, because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere. But
those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments? Right. So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. That's just what it is, dude.
But
let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, but shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of the world. I certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what a society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Which one? And you can't face that reality. So you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what was the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe, and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country.
And as I clarified,
It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian, and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
The Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. and this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation.
It's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all pretend that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's.
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful. Does your religion
dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is now what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because You know these people very, very well.
Yeah.
You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people. But this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, they, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, I mean, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are Black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point. Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and Black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe. He literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful, why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all of these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure, as they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Charlie Kirk. Fly his body on Air Force Two. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Van said in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. Oh, I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable
to say.
Roland, this is scary, and you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh, my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for one semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that one semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalized him? I mean, it really is showing folks the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7. Rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus, when they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean up, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was endured was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 400 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. And it's enduring today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping out women, they had a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught black that this was God's will. God's will. Enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? How are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered its people. And you crushed the native people here. When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus. What could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate in the slave and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so they couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's the legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. That's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your mateship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel. What's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing for ripping off everyone. That's the legacy of Christianity. It's been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You are now turning your face from your unnative land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that done Hawkins, brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it, disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our you are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Messenger Covenant. Okay, brothers, since it's been a year now, and We're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made. A former slave master, he said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and traded for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go over there where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we're getting reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came here. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. You got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they had a big and massive, they came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told him 6 states to promise him that he would have prepared him for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But now I guess they didn't, because they said over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then I said, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They looked and the farmers wasn't doing it. Farmers said, oh. So then they had master, what's happening here? How come right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour back's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? So they're praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's Master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left. They took that was offered to them. They took it, and you said no. I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they crying and begging the Master, hey, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. What you comes about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, or nowhere. We learned about fly the planes and drive the trucks and the boats and stuff, and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done that for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and get to train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats, and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it, and $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So now if you didn't prepare people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, man. And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep They thought that was just going to, I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They you know, business, they didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, said, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, calling your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? See? You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, you know, because, I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he thought, if he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, he tells you, look, hold it. We want total separation. I mean, look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1,000,000, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to really create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they go and tell it, they tell all the people, and you know, on all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So he said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Okay. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation, right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say 1,000,000 ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1,000,000 certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1,000,000 ounces, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1,000,000 ounces of gold, and you got 1,000,000 certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. You know, if you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold, right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1,000,000 ounces of gold, and you got 1,000,000 certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates have to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So if $1 is worth an ounce of gold, which that's right, then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They try to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's all it's worth. $1. Hardly worth anything. Oh, what about you? Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, you control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on to money, hope to increase again, they just use another different certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you're so happy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapse because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to get those communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You're not an engineer, build a house, you don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you want to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you could call your land now. Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it travel land. Farrakhan. Named after Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, now blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land that you 6 states. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, you on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. See, on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. You turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold it for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray. That's his answer. Pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? How much that is? If it's 17 million, 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. Then they're gonna do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border, and what you gonna do? You gonna fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, which was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Farrakhan ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and then they get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here, because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys, come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold it. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it Conland or something. I forgot what something you call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farrakhan Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farrakhan Muhammad. Master Farrakhan said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with them. Somehow they got the information over to them. Said, we please come and get them. Nope. Said, no, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land. You got your reparations. You got your money. You got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him. Talk to him. Let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, so you're not getting more reports on Okay, he says that was Master Prophet Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those. Wow, they came in. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year, total collapse. Now they begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send them some food. Master Muhammad said, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no, he refused. I said, boy, I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay, just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.